Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to be using lots of Anna Griffin goodies, but we're going to incorporate the parchment paper layers with the more flower pot decoupage, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Everything I do use will be put on my blog, and you will be able to find out the names of the items in case I forget to tell you just as we're going along. I try not to, but sometimes I can forget something because of my old age and forget a title or something. So it will always be on my blog, the list of items I've used. If you have anything to say, any comments at all, please feel free on my blog or on Facebook. I can't get back to you on YouTube though, but you can still comment on YouTube. It's just that I can't reply. So let's get on with our card project. Now, I'm going to use my favourite card size, and it's a 7x5. I'm going to stop apologising for using it because you know that it's my favourite and I enjoy using this size. So I'm going to take a bone folder and I'm going to make sure we've got a nice, sharp, neat edge along the side of our card. For anyone who's wondering how big a 7x5 card is, the blue one is our size that we're using. A4 is the largest size, and then A5 is A4 folded in half, or if you're my friends across the pond, this will be A3. So A3 is A4 folded in half, and then we're down to our size. And that should give you a good perspective at home of the size that we're going to use. So let's do the inside first, because the inside is just as important as the outside. I've been asked why we decorate, or why I decorate the inside. Because I think I don't know whether I'm unique, but I like to be able to, when somebody opens a card, it's that personal moment, because the inside, only they're going to read it. Unless you've got somebody nosy that comes in and lifts your cards off the mantelpiece and reads them all, but you're writing directly to that person. So what you write on the inside and how you decorate it is just for them. The outside, other people will see, so we always decorate that to make them really fancy. But the inside, I think, shows as much love as the outside. Okay, so the first thing for the inside of our card is I've taken a white layer of cardstock. Now, a lot of people get hung up about using the same white as the actual card base. This, I think, is a good tip. I've taken an ink pad around the edge of the cardstock, because my white cardstock is not the same as my white blank cards. And you can see that the white card is a lot brighter than the actual white of the cardstock that I've used for the layer. But I think using an ink pad around the edge breaks it up a little bit, and it deceives the eye to make it look as though that cardstock tones in more with whatever you're using, if that makes sense. So I've just got flat tape on the back of this layer. I've also used one of Anna's 22 clear birthday stamps to stamp the word birthday greetings in a nice lilac coloured ink. We can see that. Birthday greetings. There we go. That's the inside. And then I've taken one of the more flower pot decoupage die cuts, and I've taken it through the Xyron machine, and it's on the sheet of die cuts. There's quite a few different ones. Now we're going to be using the layered one for the outside, and for this one we've taken it through the Xyron because we want it flat for the inside of our card. So I've already been around the edge and I'm going to peel it off. And I know you're all shouting at me about the name of this flower, which I know is from the Primrose family, and up to starting the video I could remember it, but of course now brain freeze. We'll come back to it, don't worry about it. Now I'm going to position it to the side of where I've stamped, so it's kind of got pride of place in the centre next to the sentiment, and there's still room for you to write to and from and a little message. And I don't like this term, but that kind of pops, that jumps out and says, look at me, I'm pretty as well inside. So I think that is just gorgeous. So now for our outside, and I've got to say we're starting with a metallic layer that I have used to die cut from Anna's fretwork dies. So not wanting to waste the actual layer, because we're going to use the die on this card anyway. And I've got lots of tape. I don't know why there's so much tape around the edge there, but so I've die cut the ornate, the fretwork die out of the centre, and then I can add this to the front of our card like so, and trying to get it nice and straight as a layer to cover the front. There we go, nearly straight. So that's our first layer, and that covers the entire card. That's the metallic cardstock in the 7x5 inch size from Anna, there's a selection of colours in the kit. Now our next layer is a sheet of black, and this is the full sheet. I haven't been economical with this. I've left it complete because I need it to be all black underneath the parchment. So we just peel off our tape like so, and we can add this as our next layer. There we go. So that's our next layer. So we've got a matten layer ready now. Next we can add our parchment layer. Now I've already done a video previously about how to use parchment work on these layers to bring them to life. Anna's created a set of both layers and embellishments in parchment that you use your parchment tools to emboss them, whether it's the lines or the flowers, and it brings them to life. Now I've added a little bit of colour behind this one, and I'm going to stick it down onto the black layer. And I just want to kind of point out I've used red lining tape. Now that's the heavy duty tape. I've got two pieces here and then one piece here, because I just want, it's not, you're not going to see my tape because something's going to cover it. I can add more glue later under sections that might need sticking down, but that will be enough with the red tape, because the red tape is the extra strong one. So next, our next layer, and in fact I'm just gonna jump back a bit. The parchment I've coloured in from the reverse. I'll put the details of the video on my blog for the parchment and how to do it and everything. It's quite, it's a good one, because you see me emboss it all and how to colour it from behind and things. So have a watch of that one as well. So our next layer is the fretwork die that we cut out from our first layer that we put on the card, if you remember, and the layer that had a great big gap in it. Now I've got flat tape on the back, but I'm not happy with the amount that I've got, so I'm just going to add a little bit of wet glue as well, because I want it to stick. I don't want it to lift up, and it's going on parchment. It should be fine, and I'm going to position it roughly about there, because once this is down, it's going to be down with glue and tape. There we go. So that's it onto the parchment, like so. Our next layer is part of our more flower pot decoupage, and I'm going to position this over the top of our die cut. I've got 3D foam on the back of it, and it's just going to sit nicely there. And the next layer is when we talked about the decoupage in the layers that you get from the sheets. The next layer, I've got 3D foam on it, and I can add it on top of the previous layer, pattern over pattern, to give it that decoupage effect. I've got one of Anna's favourite stickers from the Favourite Sentiment sticker collection, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on it, and I'm going to simply position it over the centre of the stalk of the flower, like that, and press it down for the glue to take hold. Now, I've only used glue on it because the sentiment stickers are normally really good for sticking, but because it's only going to adhere to a smaller section of the leaf, I want it to stick well. I don't want to be worrying that there might not be enough area to stick, if that makes sense. So the last thing I can do is add a bow. Now, this is a handmade bow I've tied to finish our card off, because I don't have any little lilac ones from Anna, and I'm thinking mine just finishes it off perfectly. So there we go, and that is our card finished. Pretty card, something a little bit different, incorporating the parchment layer, the colouring that we do to bring it all together with the lilac of the base layer and the fretwork die, the lilac bow, and the lilac into the primrose. I know, I'm so wrong not knowing. And I've got a lady who always says, oh, I like it because you always know the names of the flowers. And as I say, I did till we started filming. And as soon as I turned the camera on, it's like, oh, what's my name? Never mind anything else. So feel free to shout at me for not knowing. So that's our front. And we've got the layers from our decoupage as well. And then the inside matches perfectly. So pretty. Stands up nicely. Might need a little bit of bubble wrap just to protect those layers and your parchment. But another pretty card, and more unique ideas, I think, of how to use your products. So feel free to comment on my blog or on Facebook. You can on YouTube, but I can't get back to you. Please share if you've enjoyed this or you enjoy any of my videos. Please share with your crafty friends. Let's reach as many people as we can. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.